Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, I will inspect and service the drag link and tie rod end for my 1966 Scout 800. I will replace one tie rod end. This is not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. I hope you like it. Let's get to work. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.
I'm ready to service the drag link. So this is the drag link off the Scout 800. I'm just checking it out and servicing it. The first thing I noticed, this tie rod end here, it's not loose, but it's a little bit lumpy. So it's probably rusty inside or something. And it's slightly damaged here. So I've got this good used one that moves in every direction nice and smoothly. So I'm going to switch them. I've already loosened things up and lubricated them, but before I did that, I measured it. And now I've put it back to the original condition for the sake of this video. So instead of counting the turns, you can see on these tie rod ends, there's a ridge here. So it gives me a place to measure. On the inside, the measurement from the flat of the nut to the ridge is 0.679 inches. On the outer end, from the flat of the nut to the ridge, is 0.75. I will use these dimensions when I install the new tie rod end. And that's close enough for now. Of course, when everything's installed back in the Scout, I will set the toe in. So it's just an approximate thing. Now, I will leave this nut in place and just unscrew the whole thing. I'll put a wrench on the nut and I'll just unscrew because this is right-hand thread. The other end is left-hand thread. This is the right-hand thread, and so basically the nut's in the position, its original position already. But we measure everything anyway in case something moves. I've already cleaned this up, taken it apart, used penetrating oil, and put never seize on the threads. Right. Just a little bit more never seize on there. So that's that end. This one here is left-hand thread. Putting some never seize. Screwing the replacement tie rod end into the adjuster sleeve. Got approximately 0.75 there. A little more never seize here. So that's close enough for now. These tie rod ends are the old ball and socket type. Back in the day, they strapped a piece of leather around the open side of the tie rod end to keep the grease in and the water out. I'm unscrewing the slotted plug. The tie rod end contains a threaded plug, an outer cup with a spring, the ball, and an inner cup with a hole in the center to allow grease to enter. The outer cup with the spring pushes the ball against the inner cup, eliminating play and absorbing shock. An important thing to check right away is for flat spots on the ball. And I don't see any flat spots on the ball. The other end here of the tie rod goes onto the pitman arm on the steering box. So I'll just take that apart too. It's the same idea. So I'll take that apart too and clean it up. And I'm going to have a look around and see if I can find something like this or make something like this. So it's cleanup time and parts hunting time. This is the end of the tie rod that goes on the drag link. This is the inner cup. Note that it has a hole in it. You have to make sure this hole is unobstructed so the grease can go through. So this goes in first. Oops. This one here just slips in there first, like that, right? Then this tie rod goes on the ball, and then the other cup here with the spring on it goes against the ball, and then the plug goes against the spring. So let's go over and put this on there. Right. So the first thing that goes on is this strap, and after that, I guess you'd call it a seal. It seals the bottom of the tie rod. So I made a new one out of neoprene rubber, which I can just stretch over this ball. Now, put the tie rod on the ball. Then I have the outer cup with the spring. So the cup goes against the ball, like so. And then the threaded plug with the slot. It screws in there. And I'm screwing it in with a wood chisel. You could use a big slot screwdriver or whatever you want. Now I'm starting to feel the spring tension. Now, it still needs a couple more turns. So what I've been using is a piece of 1/8 by 1 inch flat bar and a pair of vice grips. And now we have to line up the cotter pin hole. So I have a little awl here that I like to use for things like that. So now I just have to slip the cotter pin through there. Just bend the cotter pin. Right. Line this up nicely. Needle nose pliers. Right. So that holds this seal in place. Let's put a little grease in the tie rod end. Put the cap on. Same thing at the other end. I'm just running a 1/2 inch National Fine die over these threads. Doesn't take much just to clean up the threads. Somebody probably whacked it with a hammer. I will now mount the drag link on the front axle. Now, I can put this end on here. Tight. Just back it off enough. Cotter pin. That's much better. I don't like big, long cotter pins sticking out. It's just something to cut your hand on. Other side, same thing. Tighten it up. Just have to tighten this one up. 7/8. 7/8 wrench. And another cotter pin. I've just installed the steering damper. I'm torquing it to 50 foot-pounds. There's one. 50 foot-pounds. This one is turning. I have to hold it with a wrench. Okay, I'm holding it with a wrench. 50 foot-pounds.
In conclusion, the Draglink tie rod and steering damper are in excellent condition. Combined with the rebuilt steering knuckles and steering box, the Scout should go down the road as good as the day it was new. In my next video, I will install the Dana 30 front axle in the Scout. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.